Radio After Dark wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Good evening or morning, depending on your time zone. From the Pacific to the Atlantic to you worldwide. Get yourself a cup of Java and find a comfy, easy chair. And get ready for Gary and his guest on Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. And now, here's Gary.
And here I am. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. A big shout out to all the people in Australia that have found us and listening. And a big shout out to all my friends, the truckers out there, the long haul truckers. You know, keeping America moving. Well, you know, Mike, I got to ask you a question. How much time did you put in to research asteroids before you started writing this book, and all the time, even as you were writing the book?
I would hundreds of hours, hundreds and hundreds of hours, and of researching asteroids and learning about the Minor Planet Center, the only one place in the world that catalogs all the asteroids that have been found, different satellites and things, and even finding locations for the book. I wanted to have a town in the Midwest that an asteroid impacts that would have a reservoir, so I could create a flood. And so I searched and finally found Burwell, Nebraska, and I'm real sorry for what I do to their city in the book.
Well, so in other words, you just didn't sit there, right, and go to bed and, oh, hey, I'll just say such and such Nebraska or whatever. You actually research where, things could happen and make it all, believable.
Yeah, they're real places, and there really is a bridge to nowhere up in the San Gabriel Mountains north of Los Angeles, and I've been up there. It's a hike. You have to hike up about 5 miles through the San Gabriel River to get to the Bridge of Nowhere that is really in the middle of nowhere, and so that's featured in the book. It's a real place, and yeah, so lots and lots of research, even on some of the futuristic, military weapons that happen, in a battle and things like that. And I had a guy that works for a aerospace company who can't tell me what he does. Check a lot of the designations for the aircraft and stuff, and he fixed those. So lots and lots of time and research to try to get things right.
Interesting. Why not lasers to try to, control the asteroids? They're coming a long ways with asteroids weapons.
Yeah, there actually is a concept, and it actually has been looked at and studied quite a bit by NASA called laser ablation. And so you have a high-powered laser that could be powered by solar panels in space, and you basically ablate. It creates a lot of asteroids have a lot of water and things, so you can, if you have this, you vaporize that part of the asteroid, and it might give it some impulse to move, or you actually remove some of the mass. And so it has been studied seriously, but I don't know of any program or plan to try something like that.
Well, I know the lasers have gotten really sophisticated. They're actually putting them now on naval ships, and from what I read, they can actually take out a missile. They can take out a plane. They can even take out another small ship. And that's how powerful a laser is gone. My father was an electronic engineer, and that's what he used to develop electronic stuff for, like the SST when Boeing was going to build one. He developed some electronics for it, but unfortunately, it never got built. But, I remember him in his workshop. He was playing with laser, and he would come out and say, "Hey, Gary, look at this." And I go, "Yeah?" look at this piece of paper. I can burn a hole through it.
Put your hand here.
Yeah, 3 feet away, he could burn a hole. Then he got it to a point where he could, through a piece of steel or aluminum, real thin, it would burn a hole right through it. Now, it took a minute to do it, but it was interesting watching it. But you know how many years ago that was? That was in the early 70s. Wow. And look how far technology has come
a long way. And yeah, they're putting lasers on battleships, and there was some news just this last week. They're actually going to put lasers on the periscope of periscope type, device on submarines.
Yeah, isn't that scary how far technology has come? If anything, rather than detonating a nuclear device on an asteroid or trying to put rocket engines, that maybe the laser might be the way to go, because, it's advancing now so much that maybe in the next couple of years they could perfect it, and that could be, even on Earth, they could have a bank of, lasers that could fire at an asteroid and take it out. My friend who's no longer with us, Art Bell, I remember one time he had a guest on a show, and it was talking about asteroids, what they could do to deflect an asteroid. This scientist claimed, well, you know what? If we put all these rocket engines on the Earth and fired them off, simultaneously, we could nudge the Earth just a little bit out of the asteroid's path. Don't laugh.
That might have the wrong effect, If we move Earth out of its orbit, then I think that'd be scarier than trying to move the asteroid.
Oh, I know. But we
wouldn't know what would happen.
Well, you remember that Space 1999?
I think so.
Yeah, where the moon got blown out of the Earth's orbit, and
that would be bad too.
Yeah, well, I know, but that was a movie or a TV show about that, and I remember this scientist saying this stuff, and he was on the show a couple times with it. Maybe at that time the technology, hey, it's a good idea, we could nudge it, but then again, what could it have done to the Earth? I mean, besides tilting the axis of the Earth, changing, climate of the Earth, maybe Earth would just kind of like...
And there's so much mass, you'd need a lot of rockets.
A lot.
It would be challenging.
Yeah, it wasn't just a scientist's idea, but, I think the laser idea might be down the road. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not going to worry about getting hit tomorrow, but I will say this. If an asteroid happened to come through close enough where it disrupted the satellites, it's not just you're not going to be able to watch cable TV anymore. You're not going to be able to go to that ATM or to your bank and pull money out, because the whole system of... Could you imagine? That would be total chaos to society.
Oh, it would be. It would be.
If we lost everything.
Yeah, or, like you said before, if we had a solar, coronal mass ejection pointed at the Earth and wiped out our grid, that could happen too. The Clarendon event back in, 1865 or something like that, wiped out telegraphs. Luckily, that was the only electronic product that was around at that time. But could you imagine if all the electronics on Earth got wiped out?
Yeah,
we'd be in big trouble.
Unless you have a 59 Etzel, I'm just using that as a joke, your car isn't going to start. Let alone...
No, your car that has so many computers in it now? Yeah, no.
Tell me about it. My wife has a car. It's 3 years old. You ready for this? A computer, it controlled the idle, also controlled the wiper motors for the front windshield and the rear windshield. Wow. So, and unfortunately, it was out of warranty by about 300 miles. Oh. So the dealer, I call him up, and they got the car there, and I said, well, how much is the computer module? Oh, we have to order it. It'll take a week. How much is it? $1,900.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, to control the idle? Why does it control the idle and the wiper motors? Well, the car has a whole bunch of different modules. That's scary because everything is all computerized. So if we had a flare, your car isn't going to run. You're not going to be able to watch TV. You're not going to flip the light switch. You're not going to make your coffee. It's scary. So, but then
and we're all very dependent on all these conveniences. So maybe we all do need to. I live in Los Angeles, so we have earthquake issues and things like that. So I have outside of the home, I have big boxes with water storage, canned food, lanterns, batteries, rope, knives, axes, all these things that would help me in case of a disaster. And I think that everybody needs that kind of a preparedness kit, emergency preparedness kit in case something happened. I mean, we don't just get earthquakes in Los Angeles; they happen in Kansas too. Other places.
Yeah.
So I think everybody needs to be prepared at least a little bit.
Well, I think everybody should have 30 days worth of food. Not frozen food, people. Canned food that you can just eat, and survive for 30 days, and water. Even myself, I live in Gig Harbor, Washington. I'm surrounded by water. But you know what? My water comes out of the ground in a well. So if I don't have electricity, I don't have water. So I got a couple 60-gallon drums of water that I fill every month and drain. Just in case I need water, I have it. I have a lot of canned food because you know what? Even if you're eating pork and beans every day, that's at least you got your protein and you can keep going. If you got...
Yeah, you won't starve to death.
Yeah, if you got food in your freezer full, forget about it. It's gone because, back 8-9 years ago, we had a power outage. It lasted 13 days.
Oh, my.
And I had a quarter of a cow in my one freezer. And of steaks and roasts and all this stuff we just got. Guess what? It was all, that was it. It was gone. History.
Well, yeah, that's gone.
So, again, they can find your book on Amazon. They can find it. Do you have a website by any chance?
Yes, you can go to Mke McCoy, all one word, MkeMcCoy.org. And you can learn more about asteroids. There's links to buy the book. There's some news. There's also a section called Inside Asteroids that has a deeper look into some of the technology and asteroid facts and all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, on Amazon, the ebook is only $2.99, so it's very affordable. And I hope people will download it and read it and not get too scared, but I hope they enjoy it.
Well, it is a great book. I mean, when I got it, from you guys, I opened up the package and it was thick. And I'm going, oh my God, it's not a 300-page book. I go through it and it's 530 or 20, whatever it was. It's over 500 pages. But I was looking, I go, wow, it has all the chapters, not on one page, on several pages. It's a well-written book. It draws you into the whole everything, the story, and and I can tell you, it's worth the money. You need to get this book. And Mike, I just want to say you've been a very, very great guest on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun.
Well, you know what I really liked about you? I'll be honest with you. I ever so often get guests who write books. And then you start asking them, can you tell me a little bit about your book for the listeners? I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give any plots away. And I go, well, can you tell me? No, I really don't want to. And I go, why are you here then? Well, you can get my book. And I'm sitting there, hey, they're booked for an hour and a half. They won't talk about their book. You talk about sweating bullets. Scary. I didn't have that.
It hard to be a host.
I didn't have to worry about that. And I hate to say it, a lot of that happens when I hate to say it, the publicist gets a hold of me and says, hey, this is a great guest. You get them on, and they won't talk. You've been great. You're very knowledgeable in asteroids, way more than even I am. And I just want to compliment your, ability to do this conversation tonight. It was fantastic.
Oh, I appreciate it. I enjoy this science and learning about asteroids and